Scott here. I just want to give a brief message to those who are on the Reclaim Denton's core team. Last night we talked about the 5 phases of church planting. Phase 1 is the pre-core phase, where I just got away. I prayed. I sought God on what He wants for a church, and we were looking for things. We're in this process still a little bit. It's partly getting all your ducks lined up before you can do church. So finding a location to meet and all that kind of stuff would go into the pre-core phase, phase 1. And then phase 2, the area where we're getting ready to get into, and this is like a pre-launch, pre-Sunday launch. So during this time, we're going to be doing a lot of training, evangelism. We're going to be doing just a lot of gathering, and then we'll start Sunday services as well, but they're going to be a little bit loose. We're not going to have childcare. So Josiah, he'll be there on Sundays, and he'll be in the sermon. So if you have a child, just know that during that first sermon series, we're going to be getting ready. And so during that time, we're going to be getting children's ministry workers lined up. We're going to get worship team lined up. We're going to get financial stewards lined up. We're going to get all the teams lined up so that we can get ready to go into phase 3. And that's just a core team launch. And so that means we'll have Sunday services. We'll launch community groups. We're going to be still gathering and discipling people, and we're going to start our elder process and our church planting school at that same time. But we'll have worship every week. We'll have communion every week. We'll do all those sorts of things. And then that'll be building to where we're phase 4, which is just phase 4 is a small church, or not a small church, but a young church. It's the same thing, but we're establishing permanent leadership. We're not quite there to where we have permanent leadership, and that should last, who knows, by God's grace, it should last from 12 to 18 months. And then phase 5 is where you're just a church. You're getting ready to actually send out your first church planter. You're getting ready to install elders, and being a church is something, the way that I've described it, is just having all the initial kinks worked out and having your core leadership in place. And so we're going to be working on getting there as fast as we can. But the practical question is, how can you help? One is get people excited about Jesus and what Jesus is doing in Reclaim Denton. So we would invite you to get people excited about what Jesus is doing, and then invite them to come along with you. Honestly, we're going to need some Christians. We're going to need non-Christians. We're going to need friends of yours. We're going to need people who are on the fringe of their church and just checking out church. Have them come along and start. And so let me invite you that you can invite them to be a part of everything that we're doing. And you can, if you're on that core team, we still need you to come to the Thursday night prayer meetings and pray with us. And then we do all of this. And then lastly, real specifically, write a list. This is super simple, but it's it's going to be really helpful. Write a list of all the people you think would benefit spiritually because of this church plant, and then invite them. And pray for them and invite them. And then lastly, we do all this because we love Jesus. There's no other reason. It's not to build our own kingdom. It's not that Reclaim Denton is going to be the greatest church in the world or even in Denton. It's just the fact that we're following Jesus, and this is what Jesus has asked us to do. So as we follow Him, we can just we can invite people to come with us, and so please, let's do this so that we can be a community that's on mission for God. That where we're worshiping Him in spirit and in truth, day in and day out of our identities that Christ has given us. And so that's what I got for you guys. That's the short, condensed version, and we will see you next Thursday.